Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we will be discussing a topic which is more of a theme of the New Year's, since we are now in the new year of 2023, and we're going to talk about how you shouldn't quit early in fitness, especially because now we have lots of New Year's resolutions. The gyms are packed full of people, and I think it's much more important to talk about the analogy of why it doesn't make sense to quit, even though you might not see the results. And the largest thing about this is also that lots of times in the past, even yourself or even myself, we set up these New Year's resolutions at the time that will be uh, thinner by, let's say, 10 kg by end of year. But lots of times what happens is that we do not even get to be consistent, let's say for even 2 or 3 months, because of various topics. Like for example, in the last 2 years it was unfortunately COVID, but still there is lots of, I would still call them excuses as to why not to continue in the gym. But just calling them excuses is really putting it sort of lightweight, because I think it's important to at least give you context why uh, you would like to keep going, even though you might not see any results in the first 2 or 3 months on your journey, and why it's especially useful to stay consistent in the gym. What I will mention is that if you are just starting out, especially as it's New Year's, going to the gym, the first few weeks that you will be there will suck the most. And this is especially true if you haven't had a background in any weightlifting, or at least in sports for at least a couple of previous weeks or months, because your system has to completely adjust, not just for the new exercise but also to be physically stressed, which means that you might not even particularly enjoy it as much, especially when you will be thinking of actually going to the gym. Your whole system, your brain, isn't yet set up in a way which would actually make you enjoy those activities. On this channel, we've talked about the possibility of your brain to adjust based on what you experience and what your activities are. And the reason why people who go to the gym consistently and then they are able to derive much more of an enjoyment and pleasure from it is that our brain automatically adjusts based on the activities or the day-to-day activities we do. This is, for example, also why when you enjoy Cheerios or any other anyway sugary food overall, if you stop eating sugary foods, you will not even crave them as much in a couple of months, or you will not even like the taste of them, as because your brain will automatically adjust to uh, for your system to enjoy a completely different blend of foods which you usually eat. So that could be otherwise veggies or anything of that sort. So you have to remember that the first few weeks will be the worst, as literally your brain adjusts to make sure that you will then be able to keep consistency in the gym. And it doesn't just do that because you would be consistent, but because it has to. It's very much adaptable, and because we also know that weightlifting is really important to also negate stress. I think is the best case that if you are if you have the context about this, you will be able to push through this first few weeks period. And this even works out if you try completely new exercise, because if it's a completely new exercise that, for example, you had been going to the gym for a couple of months, and if you happen to pack up a completely new exercise into your routine, that also can be quite hard to do. You are not even skilled at it, which is additional thing that we thoroughly enjoy. If you are skilled in something, we are more likely to do it. So you just have to remember that there's basically these two things that tie into your ability to not enjoy too much the gym in the first few weeks. I will again digress that every time you go to the gym and you perform your exercises, you will always feel better, even in the first few weeks. But especially when you are new to it and you are thinking about actually going there, that's I think when the largest when the largest drop of people who actually then do not make it happens. You miss one day and then that turns into a week, and then that turns into a month. So if you are able to literally triple down your thinking into wanting to go to the gym in the first few weeks, it's going to be much easier after. You can think of it that in the first few weeks you will have to think about the gym a lot, it's going to be one of the biggest topics in your life. But after a couple of months of basically consistency of going there, you will be able to automatically go there. It's almost like when you learn how to walk, and after you learn how to walk, you just walk. You don't even think about it. When you are making the first steps, you most likely struggled quite a bit. So the struggle comes into the gym heavily as well. Now, I will say some analogy for you as well. Is that what you may know of are that you may fail often in the gym. You may not see even any results in the first couple of months. That does happen more often than I think we usually talk about, and that even translates to a couple of weeks. This it doesn't matter if your goal is to lose weight or gain muscle. You just may not be able to see huge results from any particular exercise or activity you've done, but this is truly important to distinguish. Is that I will give you a mobile game analogy at the same time. Is that if you have a game, when you fail on it, you can basically load up a save which you've done from prior, and you can repeat the same process with the learnings you've had. In life, it unfortunately doesn't work that way, and you have to keep going as you fail in the gym. And in any other case, you have to keep failing and keep learning and grow as you go. You can't go back in time, so you have to still being consistent in it, which would mean that even if you fail 50 times, on the 51st time you may get it right, and you may start growing either your muscles, or you can actually lose the body fat you've always wanted to lose. This is the largest thing you have to realize, is that the consistency is the most important tool you will have in your arsenal, because no matter how many times you fail, if you still come back to that, you may fail even 100 times, but then on the first time you actually do get it right, it's going to completely change everything you thought about, how you should do exercise, how you should grow your body. This is especially why on this channel we don't talk too much into techniques of exercises or how to do them, because for everyone different exercise can produce different results as well, also because of genetics. But it's more of a mental side which you need to actually take care of, which is the biggest hurdle that we have at the moment. So just remember that you can't really go back in time when you learn or fail a lot of times, but you can if you keep being consistent. It's kind of like a save game in a mobile game, where you are able to use your learnings from before. If you failed for 3 months in the gym and you stop it, it doesn't give you any actionable results for the long term. What you have to remember is that if you still will keep coming back, you can use those failings. And we just mentioned is that people who you might admire in the fitness in industry, whoever you may follow, they've been they've been basically pushing exercises for 10 plus years. They haven't gotten there in 4 months, 1 year. And even the same people have usually done sports in the past, at least any kind of sports. It doesn't mean professionally, but they had they usually had sort of, let's say, call it an advantage on that front, because they had more time to put their shit together. And sometimes they might have actually gone to the gym, and there they could have failed a lot of times, and after that they could have set up their channels from which you are now basically learning from at the same time. But the learning curve was much higher at the start, especially. So you have to realize that you if you would think about it, if you are going consistently to the gym for like 10 years, I think you would be pretty much assured to reach the physiques you usually see in people that you might be learning now from. If you think about it, that if you will go hard as you can in 3 months and then stop, I don't think that even in your rational head you will be thinking that you will be able to reach that physique. So again, the people who you would admire have done fitness or even weightlifting plus sports for a long time, at least 10 years plus. So you have to realize that also to reach those physiques, you need to put the work in the long term. And it doesn't matter how many times you failed, they've done so as well, but they've learned and kept going. And that made them to have much larger following because of the learnings they've had and continuously trying to teach other people as well. Now, since this is the main also point, is that you really can't learn without failing in the gym. What you have to realize is that if you were to get everything correct, which never happens in gym or any other activity, um, you still want to know what to avoid. And usually, even in the gym, it's more of what you don't do than what you do. And when coming back, is that as long as you would stay in the game to continue on your routine, you a lot of times will change exercises, you will change your nutrition, but as long as you keep to the fundamentals of why you are doing it, of trying to improve your physique, your body, and also your health, because that all translates to also increase appearance, attraction, and everything else, respect as well. You will have to realize that as long as you stay in the fights, you will just keep growing, because learning from failures is a huge thing. This is why I've been talking consistency a lot in this video about, because if you keep yourself in the game, you will learn as much as you've ever had. So hopefully this video is quite a bit helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.